game, and he's going to cost them in the playoffs.
He did not blow that game. Amazing. I don't know. Did Andy Reid live by you in KC and barbecue too much and didn't invite you over? We all know you love some barbecue. And you are taking shots at a guy who didn't prevail in the game, but did the same things that Sean McVay, who did prevail in the game, did. Sean McVay, last 2 possessions, people are saying, hey, that's a little too aggressive there. You're throwing the football when you could be running the clock out. In the same position as Andy Reid, he decided to roll the dice. They just won the game. That's just not the result that you're focused on. It's the decisions that he made that were parallel to Andy Reid. So I have no problem with Andy Reid did because I have no problem with Sean McVay did. He just won the game. Here's the real thing that you need to evolve or get left behind about, which is the running game is dead in today's NFL. It's dead, bruh. I mean, it's dead. It's the NBA's version of shooting a long two, bruh. And I'm going to give you the numbers that support this. You ready for this? If you're a top running back in this league, I'm talking about Zeke, I'm talking about Todd Gurley, those level backs. You know what you average per attempt per carry? 4.5 to 5.0 max.
Right.
Amazing. Do you know what the worst quarterback by yards per completion averages? Averages the worst. Kirk Cousins, who's number 32. You know what he averages? 10.2.
Right.
Simple math, I say. You carry the 2, you carry the 5. Wait a minute. I could be the worst throwing the football by average and still be twice as good as the best running back per attempt. It's the new math that hit the NBA, that has now hit the NFL in critical moments. The only thing we respect about the running game is controlling the clock. Outside of that, per attempt, per moving the chains, and per getting in that end zone, you better throw it.
How we sit up here blaming Andy Reid, who's an offensive-minded genius, who also put up 51 points. Why are we not directing this to the defense side of the ball? How do you give up 54?
Because you got bad personnel. And you need to run the ball to protect
I can find 10 people on the street right now that won't give up 54 points, period. It's the defensive coordinator. They had a problem this whole entire season with that. If you got an offense, right, if you got an offense as explosive as a Kansas City Chiefs, as a defense, you should say, you know what? If we score 28 points a game, we should win every single game. And this is if your defense is average. If your defense is average, you say, if we only give up 28 points, knowing that our offense is scoring 30-plus points a game, we should win most of our games. You giving up 54 basketball numbers? you giving up basketball numbers now? So at some point in time, this defense has to take responsibility. This defensive coordinator, for allowing them to have the mentality to even be able to point the blame at Andy Reid, has to take responsibility. These are times I'm watching you. We sit back watching it like, man, I can get me 20 plays right now. I can play on this defense because they got nobody that's making any kind of noise on the defense side of the ball.
Key to being a head coach, know your personnel.
Bob Sutton, that's his name.
Exactly.
It's Bob Sutton's fault. And just like you said, the running game is extinct dinosaur.
Yeah.
Holding teams to 28 points, that's not happening anymore. You're not holding, not the Rams, not these high-powered off. If you give up 28 points, you've done a great job.
Say it.
You're not stopping teams anymore. That day is long gone. You're not holding a team like the Chiefs to under 28 points. The Rams, you're not doing it. Hopefully, when Eric Berry comes back, he'll shore up some of that on the back end. A lot of it communication. I'm wondering why, even Wade Phillip, why are you playing so much man-to-man?
Yeah.
Play some zone defense. You got a quarterback that's starting in his first year. Quit giving it easy, defined reads. Make them think. If you look at the last play that was an interception, it was a zone defense. I thought when he threw the ball, even if he didn't get tipped on his shoulder, it was going to be an interception. He was throwing in a tight coverage.
But, DT, I think you run man because of the rule change. So outside of 5 yards, I can't touch you. So let me get some tight man press coverage in those first 5 yards, have some combat, and maybe throw out the timing. That's all.
You've given up so many yards and so many points. Me personally, Andy Reid is a great coach. It's easy, though, Jason, when you're moving the ball up and down the field to say, I'm not going to turn around and hand it to they were scoring points so easy. I can see when they were scoring so easy.
What game of football do y'all think?
This is a new age NFL.
I get it, but the running game still matters. And again, when you have that defensive personnel, when you've overpaid this Hitchens guy who couldn't tackle me, when you've overpaid him, you have to protect. Okay, you got to know your personnel and say, be like, hey, man, Reid, I can't put my defense out there again. Let me use Kareem Hunt. Let me march this ball down the field. They have no timeouts. There was a time You got to know when to hold
It's
it.
54,
Andy Reid
51.
always
Are you
abandons the
playing
run.
for the tie or are you playing to win?
No, you playing to win. You score a touchdown with very little time left on the clock. They got greedy. They had the ball at the 50-yard line. You didn't dropping this dude back 7 yards after what Aaron Donald and them had done to him makes no sense. If you throw it quick at the very least.
If you look at that protection, how Kelsey set up like the quarterback should have kept rolling and get out.
Yeah.
He set up that way, so that was some type of miscommunication. Mahomes didn't roll all the way out
job is
to catch the ball.
to catch the ball. They put him in a situation with a defensive end he should have never been in that situation.
His body position was such where it looked like Mahomes should have got outside of that. He was positioned that way. It just didn't work.
You're going to keep changing this question until you get the right answer.
What?
Because, look, the thing about this is, are we going to blame Andy Reid? Absolutely not. Andy Reid was in the shootout. He said, I got bullets too. And we just going to go at it. You want him to say, oh, let's play conservative. Let's manage the clock right here in this situation. You can't do that because any time left given to the Rams in this high-powered offense is too much time. So you're trying to milk it, but at the same time, you got to just keep pace with what's going on. We just got on the freeway. That's the flow of traffic. It's the fast lane. You got to merge with that traffic and go as fast as it, and that's how they kept pace with the Rams.
If I'm driving a Prius and the other guy's driving a Maserati, I'm not going to try to go as fast as that guy. I'm going to change.
Hold on.
Call them the Prius?
What offense is
Their
the Prius?
defense is a Prius, and it needed protection.
They needed AAA?
They needed protection. I can't believe y'all can't see this. Andy Reid and clock management and managing the game and abandoning the run has been his issue going all the way back to Philadelphia. He's the anti-Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer ran the ball too much.
Right.
Andy Reid passes the ball too much. If I had watched that tape of Seattle the week before and watched them just line up at every play, jam it down their throat, 8 yards per carry, and you don't want to give Kareem Hunt the ball
They
for
down
14
13.
times?
If they ran the ball, that wouldn't have got it done for them.
They had the lead late.
Hey, you know what though? It's hard. It's hard. How can you get on Andy? He scored 51 points. It's hard to complain.
They gave up 21. They gave up 21.
But that's what happens when you got a first-year quarterback starting. He's going to hold on to the
and
ball.
you ask him to do too much when you could have handed the ball to
He had
Kareem
too
Hunt.
much all year. All year he was the magic man.
Or the possession before when he threw a 73-yard touchdown. You weren't saying that's too much.
Nope.
Now all of a sudden, you know what? When you have a narrative, when you have a story, when you have a compiling of a resume against someone, it's easy to pick something like this, which is minute. I mean, you're talking about something so small, and it just attaches to everything else that you have.
I like Andy Reid.
Don't sound like it.
Again, he's made a mistake. I'm going to call him out for it. He has a weakness. Andy Reid's been one of the best coaches in the NFL for 20 years.
Yes.
No Super Bowl. There's a reason why. There's a reason why.
Hey,
it can't all just be all
Their
love.
playoff losses, though, is nipping. He's not getting blown out. Every game is close.
Okay.
This is playoffs.
They're going to put that on in his obituary. He didn't get blown out in playoff games. But he didn't win.
Hey, as long as he has Patrick Mahomes,
he's
next
gonna get
5 to 7,
he's
8
good
years, he has a chance every year. He has a chance every year.
I'm not putting McNabb on Mahomes' level, but he had McNabb for a long stretch and didn't win a damn Super Bowl. Now here he is again with another guy. I've seen this from Andy Reid before. Everybody has been like, hey, man, we know you love the passing game, but you can't hand the ball to one of these running backs. And for y'all to sit here and act like Todd Gurley or any of these other running backs aren't contributing to the team's success.
Hold on, let's stay in the vacuum. Did Todd Gurley have a great game? 54-51. No. And Sean McVay, did you use the running game? No. In that game, I'm not mad at Sean McVay either.
Let me tell you this.
Yes, sir.
This is where I go back to know your personnel. If Andy Reid had Aaron Donald, I would have been as aggressive as Sean McVay. If Andy Reid had a defense that basically produced 21 points, I would have been as aggressive as Sean McVay. He doesn't have Aaron Donald.
They play well, man. They scored defensive touchdowns. I saw Houston coming around that corner left and right.
It's not like we've seen this out of the Rams defense all year. They wasn't putting, stealing 21 points. But don't get Aaron Donald's been.
He's leading the league in sacks.
He is.
And they were blocking him one-on-one a lot of times.
How did that Saints game go? They got 0 sacks against the Saints. And you talk about in a game where it's a shootout. when you go and shootout to shootout, we ain't sitting there talking about this defensive line and running game as much. I think it was game plan specific. Let's attack them and keep pace with them in scoring.
It's a different NFL, though. The game has completely changed. The days of seeing somebody running the ball 30 to 40 times.
The Saints play defense, and they run the ball. And y'all sitting here with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, and the Saints are the best team in football.
So you saying
we just sat through a discussion. We just sat through a discussion acting like the running game is extinct and you got to go away from it. When I'm looking at New Orleans, Drew Brees is going to be the MVP. They're the best team in the league right now. They're likely going to win the Super Bowl. Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, they're running the ball. But Andy Reid, you don't need to. You got Kareem Hunt. You just watch the team gash him 8 yards a carry. Put it all on Patrick Mahomes' shoulder. Even though he's done fumbled twice, he done thrown interceptions. Just keep putting it all on Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh, I can't wait to the Super Bowl.
Stick around.